Coach, great win versus Ave Maria, 1-0 conference play. What would you say the key factors in the win against the Gyrenes were last week?
Yeah, I think just the intensity that we started the game with. I mean, our kids came out and started the game fast, and we were able to set the tempo real early in the game, had a real quick score, and I think that's what kind of, propelled the rest of the game.
Yes, sir. You said we started fast. That was a great start, going up 14 nothing early. What were some aspects that you would like to see improvement from with the group?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing there is, I mean, we did start so fast, which of course is great. A little bit more consistency, and it's something that we talk to our team about is, the ability to play with intensity for 4 quarters and to not have, emotion involved in it, which kind of has, those lull spots in the game. So for us to be consistent and to be able to match that intensity, we can't play with those emotions that, have the highs and lows of the game.
So 3-1, like I said, 1-0 to start Sun Conference. Obviously, a great start to the year. What are we going to do to continue building on this success early on?
Yeah, so I think that just comes with a mindset of on to the next one. Short memory. What's done is done and it's over with. Now we're on to Southeastern, and our preparation, our mindset has got to be focused on the next game.
It's a big one against the Fire in Lakeland. First road test of the season for the group. What are the keys for having a successful weekend practice leading into what's always a good environment there Saturday night in Lakeland?
Yeah, I mean, I think our kids know what's at stake, and we've talked about it in the team meeting and stuff on Sunday, and we're gonna have to do some things to prepare. It's gonna be first time playing underneath the lights, so I have to do some things there to be able to get the guys ready for that. Most of our games have been during the daytime, and so it's gonna be a little bit different atmosphere. I mean, Southeastern has great facilities, and for us to be able to block those things out and just concentrate on the game. And I told our team again on Sunday in our team meeting that it doesn't matter what's going on around you. Regardless, there's going to be 11 guys on 11 guys on the field. That's where the game is won. It's not everything else that's around it.
Coach, what can you tell us about Southeastern, the guys that are impact players for them offensively as well as on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, they do have some good players. It's a great program. Offensively, they're schematics. They're going to try to run the ball and control the line of scrimmage. And they do have some big play receivers, and they've got a couple of quarterbacks that are good and some good backs. Defensively, they're solid in the box, and they play good coverage, and they're coached well on in all facets. And we're going to have to play well to be able to match their skill and bring a little bit more intensity to the game to be able to win.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, offense has been clicking the last 2 weeks. Great way to start off conference play, 1-0, of course. It's that 63-point game against D2 team in Lincoln. How are we going to build on that success heading into Southeastern week?
Yeah, I think, we had that little disruption there with the bye week and then a hurricane week, and it just was kind of difficult to get into a flow offensively. So that, I think that made it somewhat difficult to get a rhythm there early in the season. But being able to play the last 2 weeks and find some rhythm and consistency, especially early in the games. Lincoln game, we started out a little bit slow, and then this last game, emphasis during the week was having a fast start, and I think we definitely did that with 21 points in our first 4 drives. So excited to see how we can build on that and where these guys want to take this thing. Ultimately, it's up to us to determine what kind of product we have.
It only took us 2 plays to get 6 on the board with number 2, Say McWilliams, who was just named Sun Conference Offensive Player of the Week. Can you tell us a little bit about Say, what he brings to your offense?
Yeah, it's great to have Say back. Only getting him for 2 games last year before his injury was disappointing for him and for us. It definitely hurt our production offensively. But really, this year has been more about the group as a whole. I think Say had a great game, but that was a byproduct of that's where the ball had to go based on scheme and game plan, and he was the recipient of that. But it wasn't necessarily just him. It was Keon. A lot of times Keon's drawing the best corner of the secondary. KJ's ability to come on this year and give us that speed down the middle of the field and add some explosiveness there has helped as well to take some of the safety's ability to cheat to our outside receivers. So it's really a group effort. Say just happened to be the guy that got the catches this week. And honestly, we probably underachieved a little bit. I think there was more meat on the bone there for us. We definitely should have completed a few more passes. The wind was a little bit of a factor, so still leaving quite a bit of hunger in my gut, and also I think the offense's gut. Just knowing that there's more out there and that we can do more.
Yeah, the units looked great overall. Running backs have looked good. Our lines look good, and one of the better receiving cores in the last few years here in Babson Park has been led by the sophomore quarterback Trent Grosjean, who had a little bit of a coming out party last week. You could say a career high in passing yards with 250 in his first 3 touchdown game. You talk a little bit about his progression from last year so far. About the quarter point of the season this year.
Yeah, Trent, still mastering how to play college football and the speed of that version of the game. I think if you kind of look back at his high school career, later his junior and senior year, especially his senior year when they went 15-0 in one state, as he got mastery of the offense and had mastery of the speed of the game, you saw him put his best work together. And I think you're starting to see that come together for him now. But we also have a competitive QB room that's really pushed him. Blake and Ricky and even Noel and Caden Stengel are all pushing each other for reps and have all done a good job behind the scenes, even though they may not be the one out there. They're giving really good looks during the week, and they are pushing Trent, and Trent's had to rise to that occasion. There was definitely some more production in the last game. I think there was 3 or 4, maybe 5 throws that Trent would like to have back. Wind was a little bit of a factor in that game with the aftermath of the hurricane pushing through. Had it been a little bit calmer day in the wind department, I think we would have hit a couple more of those, and it would have been even a more explosive day. So, but that's no excuse, right? We got to hit them, right? When the guy's running down the sideline with a 2 or 3 yard lead there, we got to be able to find a way to get him the football. So we're going to work on that some more this week. We got to get used to being under the lights here a little bit with this night game coming up. So definitely some things to point to for this week moving forward. But Trent's done a great job. But I think really it's the culmination of the receiver group playing better, the offensive line coming together, and our pass pro being really good, or definitely much improved from last year. Definitely still some room to work there as well. But our ability to run the ball also has lightened the box a little bit, or it made the box heavy, and it's lightened the secondary a little bit. And the receivers are finding some more one-on-one situations down the field and been able to push the ball down the field a little bit. So it's a culmination of the whole thing. It's not just one person, but definitely Trent's doing a great job. And I look forward to seeing the continued maturation of him as we move forward.
Coach, what can you tell us about Southeastern? They rank very highly in a lot of different categories in defensive statistics. So what is it about the Southeastern Fire defense that's made them have success so far this season?
Yeah, their front seven's pretty good. They got some length at linebacker, and they have some guys up front that have their hand in the dirt that are hard to move. They do a good job of eating up double teams and trying to keep our guards off their linebackers so their linebackers can make plays. They kind of remind me a little bit of a Campbellsville, especially their front seven. So I think we'll have a challenge in front of us to move those guys and be able to run the football consistently. But if we can do that, I see us being able to be successful and being able to get to some of the other things that we do well. But ultimately, it's just going to be about us, being sound, running our rules, and making sure that we play with great technique. And if we do those things, I think we have the personnel to be able to hang with those guys.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach, great win versus Ave on the defensive side of the ball. Only allowed 9 points. What are we looking to do to build that success heading into Southeastern week?
Just can't get complacent. We played pretty well on defense, had a lot of energy, a lot of guys making plays, but we definitely have to get better this week, learn from our mistakes from the past game, and now we're on to the next one. So we got to make sure we're getting a little bit better each day in practice, meetings, and all of that.
Coach Jalen Williams and Trey Mobley, 2 guys that stood out against the Gyrenes, combining for 19 tackles, a forced fumble, and a pass breakup. What do those 2 guys bring to the defense?
They bring energy, especially Trey. Trey's one of those guys that he's a big energy guy, and it's definitely needed. And it's not just in the game; it's also in practice. They kind of thrive. The defense kind of thrives off their energy in them for a couple guys. Same thing with Jalen Williams, but he's just Jalen's been here 4 years, so he's probably one of the smartest guys on the defense, understanding what we're trying to do and where everybody should line up, and that's a big help for me, especially being the signal caller. And I can trust him to make sure everybody gets lined up and everybody's doing their jobs.
Coach, what aspects of the defense did you like on Saturday, and what are you hoping to see improvement on heading into a big matchup against the Southeastern Fire?
One thing that we harp on, and I put it on the tip sheet every week, is start fast and stay fast. Now, we definitely started fast, had a couple turnovers early, played with a lot of energy, but some of the things we got to work on is the stay fast part. And first half, we were pretty hyped up and stuff like that, and I feel like we peaked. And what I look out for the guy, what I want for the guys to do is just play at a high level. Don't get too high, don't get too low. And then when we peak is when the clock hits fourth quarter with all zeros, and we get the dub, and then we can celebrate and be high energy, real high energy. That's when we should hit our peak.
Awesome, Coach. What will be the keys for success this week in practice?
Just got to dial in. Just make sure we're doing the best us. Making sure we're executing, make sure we're learning. When it's time to take the mental reps, we're taking them and absorbing all the play calls, all the new stuff we're putting in, and we just got to make sure we're getting better as a whole. And when we leave the field at practice, we got to feel like, hey, I did my best, and I feel like we got better today.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.